resources. Wait, why does it start at 3 minutes? That's kind of bizarre. All right. So in this game, Zyra is running, it looks like identical masteries and identical runes as well from last time. So that's magic penetration reds, ability power blues, also mana regen blues. They're split up. Health yellows, which is standard, and then armor and ability power quints. The Zyra elects to go ability power over magic pen on the glyphs and the quints. Also runs battle trance, does not run fresh blood, goes precision and bandit. Those are the noteworthy runes and masteries for this champion. All right, so unfortunately this video doesn't start from the beginning, so we missed a little bit of action. What happened is Zyra's level 2, Zyra has no flash, and she's up against the Blitzcrank. Oh, it's Cuvée. All right, so really level 2 is where you're weakest against Blitzcrank. So I'm a little sad that I didn't get to see how that started up. Regardless, that's what's gonna happen here. I think it's a little strange that the Zyra didn't start refillable potion in this game, because Blitzcrank doesn't have much poke. The only time you're gonna be chugging through potions, well, coincidentally, is a situation like this where you get hooked early. And Ashe Zyra does have a hard time against Blitzcrank level 2, but I feel like they should have been able to poke him out so he couldn't do this to him. But we don't have the context because the video just started now. All right, so Fog of War against the enemy team. So Lee Sin's bot side, presumably the enemy team knew he started red. So Zyra should be, it's 3 minutes. If the enemy jungler starts on the opposite side of you around 3 minutes, you just gotta peace out. Say, hey, this guy's probably gonna gank us, we need to leave. So what they did is they dropped the ward here. And that's good in case he's running over the wall, but there's no blast plant. And so he's probably just gonna not go that way. The only time they likely go this way is when you're really pushed up, but they're not. Anyway, let's see what happens. So she's popping the potions, gonna play back while it's healing her up. Doesn't want to get wrecked. And again, they should expect that Lee Sin's nearby. And this is one of the things I hate Ashe Zyra into Blitzcrank, because you really need to poke him out. If you don't poke him out, he can do a lot to you, because neither of these champions can deal with him. If I'm Zyra into Blitzcrank and I have like an Ezreal or something, that's great. I can let Ezreal kind of be in front of me because he can tank the hooks, because he can get out of it with Arcane Shift. You can't have Ashe tank these hooks for you. Also, I think Ignite is a mistake in this case, because if you get hooked, there's nothing you can do with an Ignite. But if you get hooked and you can exhaust the enemy, you can actually do quite well. That being said, Ignite, bigger kill pressure. Maybe she knows something we don't. Hey, there's the Lee Sin I was talking about, and you're dead. I mean, once she was up that far, there's no way she could have survived. Maybe, actually, I don't know. Could the Ashe have healed her? Would that have been enough? Yeah, I think once, and right when you see the Lee Sin, you heal her, give her the movement speed and the health before the Ignite pops on. In general, if you're in an all-in, you want to heal before the Ignite, because otherwise it's only half as much. She's trying to juke the Lee Sin Q, but she just ends up running away from the tower. She probably was dead either way. Ashe decided to save the heal. So the lane's gonna slowly shove to Ashe, which is why she's sticking around. She can't, last hit, but she's just trying to get the experience here. And the enemy team has two options right here. The Caitlyn can either choose to push this as slowly as possible, or shove it in. So the two the two decisions have different impacts. If she shoves it in, that gives her a better back timing. She shoves it in, she can make Ashe stay, she can back, and then has control over the wave when she returns. If she does not shove it in, what that allows is them to zone the Ashe and get more creep advantage and more experience advantage, even if she stays away. That being said, even if you don't push it that quickly, it is going to shove eventually. Blitzcrank misses hook, but Zyra's not there to punish. Actually, I think I'm going to turn Fog of War off because I'm not actually paying attention to anything else on the map. So I'm not paying attention to where Lee Sin would even be. Alright, so Zyra died early, went to get a fairy charm and a pink ward. Don't know how much gold she had. Where do I toggle that? Unlucky. All right. So I think boots may have been a better call if she had the gold for it, but maybe she didn't. The fairy charm and the pink ward. Boots does a lot against Blitzcrank because you don't need to out combat Blitzcrank. You just need to not get hooked, basically. Thank you, Nova. So she has 129 gold right now. So with the, yeah, she would have had enough for boots. I think it's a fairly disrespectful purchase to not get the boots. This is going to give her more harass, and the pink ward, again, the pink ward normally is nice, but if you're already losing right here, you can't really defend a pink ward that easily against a Blitzcrank because he can just walk up and knock you up unless you have a health advantage over him from poke. Either way, this is going to be a pretty tough laning phase from here on out. Zyra's level 3 now though, so if they're actually, no, I take that back. Zyra's level 3, so they actually have a pretty good shot right here. Because what happened is, sure, Zyra died early, but she's even in levels. And Caitlyn, even though she got first blood, hasn't backed yet. So Caitlyn has an advantage, but she doesn't have an advantage that's actually manifesting itself. And this is something that happens a lot. And again, it goes back to the debate. Should Caitlyn have fast pushed and backed? Or should she have tried to zone out the Ashe? And in this case, fast pushing would probably have been the better idea, because what that would allow her to do is actually go back, make use of the early gold that she got, and back up. So also, I want to talk about it right now. Doran Shield is really strong right now, but I don't think it's worth it to get a Doran Shield into an all-in lane. It doesn't give you any extra health. All it gives you is health regen after poke. And honestly, Caitlyn's gonna poke him, yeah, but this Blitzcrank's not doing any poke. So I feel like Doran Shield is the wrong call in this situation. Kind of the way that you beat this lane as Zyra Ashe is just to poke them out so they can't hard engage. But with the Doran's Shield, you're not going to be doing as much poke. So as Zyra into Blitzcrank, save your E, harass with Q, and if Blitzcrank ever runs up to you, you can block his hook with an EW combo. So level 3 is actually a pretty good place for Zyra into Blitz. Ah, he did it all the time last game, and he just did it again. Leading with E is not good, I think, right here. Because if you have no E against Blitzcrank, this guy can walk all over you. Sure, they're kind of close to tower, but they have no minions. And even if that hit, it's not worth it, I don't think. Because you don't get that much poke. I think it's really the right call to lead with Q, especially against a Blitzcrank lane. But the trade worked out for them. Enemy team walked into the plants and Blitzcrank didn't try for anything. Missed a hook. This is where you get really aggressive. If the enemy Blitzcrank misses a hook, you got like a good 15 seconds to play up. So yeah, there's a QW combo. It was good. Ashe is throwing out the volleys. So good job to their bot lane. So again, as Zyra into Blitz, you always want to save your E, and you always want to save at least one W plant. Again, hooks on cooldown, so play up. Also, they know that Lee Sin is top. Hooks on cooldown, Lee Sin's top. Great time to get some damage off. Looks like they're not doing so this time. Again, another lead with E, and sure, she hits it, she gets the harass, but I don't think it's worth it. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I think it's so risky to not have that E available. So this is where you're really starting to see the matchup manifest itself. This is what you have to do as Zyra Ashe against this lane. You have to poke them down. You have to get them, play around the minions, play around the Blitzcrank Q cooldown intelligently enough so that even if Blitzcrank hooks them, they're gonna die because they have no health. So kudos to them for bringing it back from the early First Blood. Also, the Caitlyn didn't back, so she doesn't have the advantage that she would otherwise have. Unfortunately for Zyra, the rest of her team is not doing so well. Once Taliyah hits level 6, they're gonna have to be pretty nervous about a 5-man bot with Taliyah ult. Zyra's playing pretty back here. Doesn't know where the Lee Sin is. And it is a Blitzcrank. Play around the minions and they should be good. See, this is one of the nice things about Doran's Blade. It does let you regen by auto-attacking. Another good harass. Yeah, I think that hook is more the Zyra's fault. As soon as Blitzcrank pops the W, you want to set up a plant. Watch how this plays out. Because this is something I think is really important. You don't only use EW for yourself, you also use it for your AD carry. They have vision in the brush too. She does have a plant, yeah. She does have a plant. So, right there, as soon as you hear his W, you know he's gonna look for a hook. Immediately pop an EW to protect your AD carry. You can't always do that, but when you're in this position, you can. Don't rely on your AD carry, especially in Ashe. Maybe if this was an Ezreal or a Lucian, she wouldn't have to. Especially against an Ashe, this is something really good that you can do to help your AD carry. Look how much time she had to pop that. And again, it's probably not going to be the end of the world. Oh, actually, it was the flash. Yeah, just a small thing that you can do as Zyra into Blitzcrank. It's not so much that you're reacting to Blitzcrank's hook and blocking it, which looks really sick, but nobody has the reaction time for that. It's more of saying, hey, I have no minions to protect myself. I'm going to make a minion to protect myself. And then you can just line of sight him behind the plant so he can't get anything on you. So Ashe is sticking around even though they know Lee Sin was near. It's because Zac is here. They don't have to worry about getting dove. Luckily, Ashe has 2 potions that she hadn't used. Probably just gonna farm here. Nice pink ward up here. Zac's level 6 as well, so probably gonna be able to leap over, knock him together with his Q, and we should get some flashes out of the enemy bot lane here. Oh, he missed the hook too. Check this out. So let's watch the Zyra flash play and see if it's a good idea or not. I wasn't paying attention the first time. So Zac setting up a gank. So normally Zyra would want to be further up so she can follow up, but again, the hook's still up right now. So what you kind of have to do is just play back, play behind the minions, bait out the hook maybe. No, he didn't even bait it out. He just didn't even care if he got hooked. Alright. And then the Caitlyn uses the E, and Zyra's gonna flash for this. I know there's slow motion, but yeah, it was a good flash combo. It burned the flash from Caitlyn as well. And then the E plant is slowing down the Blitzcrank, which is nice. He has flash, but I don't think he uses it because he's dead anyway. Yeah, good gank. Got the Caitlyn flash. Caitlyn doesn't even heal. Says peace out. So now Zyra's finally going to be able to back. Probably going to get boots and the Frostfang, I would expect, with another pink ward. But let's see what she decides to do. Goes for the Sightstone. Okay. I know a lot of high elo players prioritize Sightstone more than I do, but Lee Sin hasn't been down bottom that long, and boots really do. Oh, she did get the boots. Okay, she got the boots. So the only thing she didn't get was the Frostfang, which is fine. I think Frostfang is a bit overrated. I love it because I'm very greedy, but I think this is okay. I think I still would have preferred to see the Frostfang over the wards. But this is also one of the reasons why I'm doing this video review session. It's so I can see how other people play and how other people prioritize. She decides that the vision is not only going to help her, and this is something I always need to remember. The vision is not always going to help her. It will also help the team. She gets deep wards and they see the enemy jungler. That helps the team. She gets river vision and they see a roaming Blitzcrank. That could probably come in handy from time to time. And yeah, in my opinion, one of the biggest reasons that Blitzcrank can succeed against Zyra is he can outroam her so easily, and that has an effect. It's very hard for Zyra to back that up. So again, see what she did here? I was just talking about it last game. Seed over the wall, give you vision of the blast plant, and then you can kill it. And it gives Lee Sin one fewer avenue to engage. Caitlyn with the static Shiv Rush, so she's going to be shoving it. Ashe is pretty weak right now, going for a very defensive build. Caitlyn has no flash, so our bot lane, Zyra can 2v2 if Lee Sin's not nearby. Let's see if she goes for it. Watch the Caitlyn static Shiv charge up. Try not to get poked out by it. It's not that much, but it's something. Really hard pink ward to defend right here against a Blitzcrank without vision. Enemy team has good pink ward coverage, so makes sense why they let it go. And again, they can win the 2v2 here, but they need to be intelligent, and the only way they win this 2v2, because just looking at stats, right? Static Shiv against Tabi, Doran Shield, Vampiric Scepter. This Ashe is going to be useless. But the enemy bot lane has no flashes, so if they can lock down the Caitlyn, they can burst her, which is why I say that they have a chance. Interesting that Zach popped the pink ward here because they can't defend it. It's good that he cleared it, but I think he just practically wasted his pink ward. I didn't see whether the Zyra saw the Lee Sin or not. But she has good passive seeds. If he forces it too hard and doesn't get a hook, the Zyra can win in this, even with this gank. But they can't do anything to the Blitzcrank. He's too tanky and too mobile right now. They need to somehow lock down the Kassadin or the Caitlyn. And Ashe has arrow. Caitlyn's no flash, so they can do it. Again, that's a very common thing you do against a Blitzcrank. Just try to poke him down so he can't force the engage. Lee Sin's coming around. This looks like it's going to be pretty... Whoa! Ashe with the disrespect right here. Saying, I don't care that you're running towards me. I don't care that there's minions right there. Ashe is dead. Unless she gets a good flash. Lee Sin with the kick flash, can't react to that. Well, I mean, you can predict it. Zyra's got to back away here. She can't hold this without exhaust, without ultimate, and against 3 people. If Zach can get here, then they have a chance. Staying within minion range, experience range is really good right here. Now the enemy team is coming. Now she can go in. Is somebody following the Kassadin? No. So this is a 3v3. Zyra is low on mana and has not much up, but I think they should be able to do fine right here. Buying some good time. Deciding to focus down the Blitzcrank. Ashe arrow goes somewhere interesting. And yeah, they do win out as I thought. Oh, he flashed into the trap. I think he didn't have vision of the trap happening, but oh, that was funny. Double teleport cancel from the enemy top laners. All right. Zyra's going back. How much gold does she have? So she has 960 gold. This is where I get Sork boots because I like the movement speed and the penetration does a lot of damage. But let's see what she buys. Moby boots. It's a fine buy into Blitzcrank and upgrades the Frostfang, which is nice. So a fine purchase. Actually, how much? So here's what I'm wondering. I wonder if the reason she bought Moby boots right here, she bought Sork boots last game. I wonder if the reason she bought Moby boots here was just that they were cheaper. Because they are cheaper, right? So she could get both, I wonder. Also, Moby boots are good against Blitzcrank because the only time he's going to be hooking you, hopefully the only time he's going to be hooking you is when you're not in combat, which is going to give you extra mobility from the Moby boots. So I definitely think that if you're going to get Moby boots, getting it against Blitzcrank is one of the best times to do it. So either she wanted to get both items, boots and Frostfang, and couldn't afford them, or otherwise that's the reason why. A lot of people, a lot of Zyra players think that Moby boots are not so good. But I just don't like them. I think they are very situationally strong. Here's something I think I don't really like that much. So Zyra has Moby boots and a Sightstone. I think it's a waste to just run back to lane right here. I think it can be really, really powerful to at least get a little vision around your mid laner. Mid laner, by the way, which is 5-1, so you want to help that mid laner. Like when possible, you want to stop the bleeding. So for example, they want to stop the bleeding top lane, but really you don't play around your weak lanes. You only try to help so much. You play around your strong lane. So getting some extra vision for that mid laner would be so good. There's a pink ward right here. If Zyra found it, Cassidy and Zyra could 2v2 and take it down. So I don't like that she's running straight down bottom with Moby boots. Sometimes I'll run straight down bottom just because I don't have any movement speed and it would take too long to go mid. But with Moby boots, you don't really have much of an excuse. Does Zyra have ultimate here? Zyra has ultimate. Talia's coming. Caitlyn's not going to be here for a while, but Caitlyn can honestly just ultimate. If Zyra gets caught out by the Weaver, she'll have to flash the Weaver as well, I think. Yeah, there's the flash. Now they have minions. She's holding on to her ultimate for a long time. The only reason she holds on to her ultimate right here is she thinks she doesn't need it to survive. I think that's a mistake because you're not going to use it for damage here. She didn't even get it off before she died. Was that an error? Is it actually on cooldown? Like a spectator bug? No, it's up here too. Yeah, I think immediately you just pop it and run away. Kind of strange. Enemy team's gonna go for the bot turret. They're gonna overcommit for the bot turret, apparently. Get a good trade right here. Whenever anything is low health, especially first turret, right? Because top's still alive. Always be aware that the enemy team is gonna greed for that. And you can use that to your advantage. So this turret was really low. Probably could have expected that they were gonna send some people, but honestly didn't really have vision, so I don't blame her there. But once the Zyra died, the Zac said, okay, this turret's really low. They're gonna greed for this first turret, and then he punished him for it. Zac doesn't have his passive anymore, so I'm pretty sure he's dead. If he had his passive, blue side wins this really, really hard. Cassidy's so strong. Just a question of whether they go for it. Ashe with the flash and the slow. Cassidy has mana too, so she can finish that off. Ashe arrow, I believe, just hit the Caitlyn as well. Goodness gracious, this Cassidy. At this point, it's just a question of can top lane survive? Ashe wants to get turret pressure here. Cassidy going to clear the pink ward, and they have Olaf teleport. Okay, Jace also has a teleport to counter, but 0-3 Jace versus 3-0 Olaf. They're gonna have to be pretty mindful of this. And again, their turret was low. They know the enemy's going to greed, punish it. Similarly, if you're going for first turret, you want to be careful. You want to be watching for a teleport. Luckily, Olaf doesn't have that much health. If Olaf disappears though and backs, they're gonna have to really, really respect the Olaf TP. Otherwise, if Olaf doesn't teleport, it looks like they're gonna be able to get this turret. Especially with red buff. Red buff helps a lot. Should get it pretty easily on the next minion wave. Oh, what I didn't notice is that Zyra actually, after dying, went up top lane. It's an interesting call, because I would expect she wanted to go bottom to secure the fact that they'll get first turret. I really don't like this call. Jace has a health advantage, but it's an Olaf. What is Zyra going to do into Olaf? And she's going to a losing lane as a support with Moby Boots. I don't think this will end well for them. Let's watch it out. So Jace is trying to force it. Olaf is really low. All right, she made it work. Good. The health advantage was enough. Although honestly, I think Olaf misplayed it. I think he could have survived. Especially with that flash. Oh well. Hey! Ash is trying to help me out. Talking about greeting for turrets. Still a worth it trade to die for that. First blood turret. I hate saying that. Turrets don't have blood. Still worth it. But goodness gracious, Gadget's fed. They couldn't dodge the hook. Not worth it anymore. Because they're going to lose bot turret too. Dak's trying to come, but there's nothing he can do. He is spotted as well. Would expect the enemy team to... Oh my word. This is aggressive. This is something I expect over a fed Zac. Not this Zac. That being said, they do have the Jace. They do have the Zyra. Zyra doesn't have ult yet. She's going to try to hopefully zone out the Talia. This looks like disaster. A lot of times you say, oh, it's 12 to 12. We got first turret. Even gold game. Directly even gold, even if they didn't know that. So let's fight. But what they're forgetting right here is that the person who's super fed on their team is not there. I think it's a really bad, really tempting thing to do, and really bad in general to force without your fed members. Kassadin is teleport though, so if they don't die quickly, blue side will win this fight. We're in for a treat. I have no idea what's gonna happen. So Zac forced it. He missed the knockup. Olaf teleported in. Jace says, see ya. Zyra says, see ya. And everyone ditches the Zac. He's gonna try to save himself with the ultimate. Demasia's just for the Olaf kill, huh? They're gonna convert it into a dragon. They should be able to secure this dragon pretty safely. Oh, good route. Not that safely, actually. You're gonna have to make sure not to get picked by Blitzcrank. He's out of mana. Stole the red buff. Blitzcrank's backing too. They know Blitzcrank's backing, so it's a 4v4 with a fed Kassadin and a low health Lee Sin. This is absolutely a good fight for the blue team. Oh, the arrow hit too. Kassadin getting another 2 kills. 9 kill Kassadin. You do not want to be playing against that one. So they're going to turn that into a mid turret. They should be able to grab it. They have no wave clear. Their main wave clear is dead. If anyone tries to defend it, they can try to dive if Zac came and help. He doesn't want to. They're going to get some good turret damage on this, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to clear it out before Caitlyn gets here. It's a lot of damage, but you have to respect the Blitzcrank. If Zac came earlier, it would have been for sure, but I still think they get it. If Zac just walks forward and tanks the turret. Kassadin tanked it, which is turns out to be fine. Blitzcrank got a little scared with his low health. Alright, good objective play. So what does Zyra want to do right now? Zyra probably has a fair amount of gold. She hasn't backed in a while. 1,500 gold, that's enough for haunting guys. Or upgrading the sight stone if she wants a CDR and more wards. Normally, right, mid turret's down, bot turret's down. Normally here what you want to do is get vision topside, push in your lanes, go for that top turret. It becomes risky though when your top laner is losing this hard. Blade of the Rune King Jace, I don't know if that's a thing. I've never seen it before. It looks pretty interesting. Ash Blade of the Rune King, that makes sense. So what do they do then? Because I don't think they want to go topside into a losing matchup. So I think what they want to do is get vision bot side, shove in mid and bot, get presence in the enemy team's bot side jungle, and make plays around vision and make plays around dragon. Red side has a ton of vision right now, and these guys don't. Zyra, when she backs here, is going to have a lot of gold. She's going to be able to upgrade her sweeper, get either a Haunting Guise or an Eye of the Watchers. So I think they want to play around bot side and get vision around Baron. Wind Dragon's good. Wind Dragon's probably the least popular dragon right now, but especially against the Blitzcrank, it really does do a lot for you. If he's running at you and trying to fish for a hook, that out of combat movement speed is very useful. So let's see what Zyra purchases and what the enemy team decides to play around. They are going top. And if they can trade top turret for dragon, that's a good trade for blue team. That looks like what they're going to try to do. Zyra does go for the Eye of the Watchers and then just Haunting Guise components. This Olaf's dead. I think he used his Cutlass though when he was already ulted, probably just for the damage, I suppose, not for the slow, obviously. They have double teleport, so they should be able to hold mid pretty safely as long as Zyra doesn't get poked off. I think the Kassadin needs to be... Somebody needs to be teleporting. Jace is teleporting behind, but they can't force this because they know the Jace is the Lee Sin's down here. He just cleared dragon. They have a pink ward right here. The teleport flank is very strange. He's not going to force anything. He's just trying to save turret. Oh no! Oh, it was the double teleport. Oh, they even mind gamed me. Even if he gets hooked there, they win this fight. Blue side. Maybe. It's pretty good Zyra. Lots of AoE. Kassadin does really well in these fights. If Kassadin stays alive, this is a wipe for... Yeah. Good. I'm glad I wasn't wrong. Ashe trying to be useful. Ashe got top turret. Olaf got zoned away. No, Olaf was killed. He couldn't even teleport to join. So they have two options right here. And... It's a very common option with Rift Herald and with Baron. If the enemy team is dead, do we get the Rift Herald for free and use that to take multiple turrets later, or do we take the turret for free and do not get Rift Herald? And you can replace that with Baron, and it really depends on how good you think your siege is and how effectively you think you can use that Rift Herald. Because it's kind of like a risk thing. Are you risk averse or do you like the risk? Rift Herald's more risky, not because they're gonna fail at securing it. They'll get it for sure if they go for it, but because then they have to use that Rift Herald well in order to benefit. And Rift Herald can easily get you 2 turrets, but it's hard to get an inner and an inhibitor. So I think I would probably personally go for the turret here, because that's the kind of player I am. But whatever they do, they need to be on the same page. So Zyra's taking the opportunity to get deep vision. She knows Olaf's there. Everyone else is dead. So deep vision is really effective here. I would have liked to see her get some more. Zach says, you guys got that. I'm going to go clear some jungle camps, which is perfectly fine here because there's no risk of a steal. And now they're going to back and then shove out the waves. Prepping for a Rift Herald is really important. And in general, whenever you're trying to siege, pushing out the waves can be a great thing. There comes the Haunting Guise in for the Zyra. Shoving out the waves gives you CS, gives you experience, and it also gives you pressure. Vision. Those are really important things if you're pushing. Enemy team's coming mid, so they're gonna go. Nobody's defending top, which is a bizarre decision. They need to have all their ducks in a row. They're actually going to lose 2 turrets here just because Jace wanted to farm bot lane. Pretty big misplay from him. She should be able to secure this pretty easily. And it's a Kassadin with 12 kills. They're not really going to be able to force onto her. Should be able to run away. Blue buff too, so it's gonna be really hard for him to run out of mana. And again, this is something that we see all the time, and it's really important for you to be aware of the trade-off you're making. Enemy team, 1 is dead, and the other 4 are chasing your Kassadin. This happens a lot of times with split pushers. You have 2 choices. Do you run and try to help the Kassadin, or do you take something else on the map? 9 times out of 10, you want to take something on the map. They're not gonna get here in time to save the Kassadin. Kassadin can take care of himself, honestly. And even if this Kassadin ends up dying, they can push up mid, they can push up bottom, they can get turret damage, they can get vision. Next dragon's up. I don't know when next dragon's up. So I think they should shove out the waves. Also, they have Rift Herald. Who has Rift Herald though? Oh, it's Kassadin, so they can't use it right here. Kassadin is just not even trying to get away, just trying to kill him. Zac and Zyra, I believe, are seriously making the wrong call in trying to going to the Kassadin. Yeah, somebody pinged out the turret, probably the Kassadin, saying, hey, I just got a kill and brought them all up here. What are you guys doing? The Jace is getting turret pressure, Ashe is getting turret pressure. They could have had more if they had the Ashe or the Zyra and the Zac, but they didn't. I do like, however, that the Zac and the Zyra are sticking together. Playing around your jungler is a really, really important thing to do as a support, especially as a Zyra who's squishy. So they're going to get a little turret damage. Ooh, this is an interesting teleport play. And again, this is something you always want to think about whenever you're shoving in a turret. If their top laner is not visible and they have teleport up, expect them to teleport behind you. Something you always have to be aware of, especially here since they're pushing 2 different waves. Jace will get the bottom turret, which is nice, but they're going to have to play this really intelligently if they're not going to die. I think it's a pretty bad situation for them. Honestly, what Zyra should do is save her ultimate, let Ashe die, and run away. Enemy team's not going to be able to kill both of them. Even if Zyra zones them out here, she'll get a lot of damage, but not enough to kill them, even with the Zac, and it might just bait him to die. So I really think she just runs away here. So she's going for it. I mean, Ashe is dead anyway. Ashe would have died no matter what. And she had to burn her flash because she stuck around, and her ultimate is a pretty long cooldown. I think she should have just ran away. But they're buying time for Jace, which is quite good. Blade of the Rune King Jace doing damage on those turrets without attack speed. He's looking pretty dead. But again, what's happening? The blue team has somebody isolated. Red team is collapsing. What are you going to take as blue team? Unfortunately, they're all on the base. Zac can get Baron Vision if he has... No, he can't. He can't get Baron Vision. He can sweep things out. He can take jungle camps, but they're all dead. Nobody else can do anything on the map right now. So he's kind of just dying for nothing. And if you're split pushing, you wanna die for something if you're gonna die. Kind of a pointless death from the Jace. So what's the game plan if you are Zyra right now? She's working towards that Liandry's. Baron's coming up soon. They have a tank. They have a fed Kassadin. Kassadin's good in skirmishes. Skirmishes happen around Baron. Only 2 inner turrets left on red sides are these 2 in the mid and top. So play around top side part of the jungle. Get vision. Go for picks. Go for Baron baits. Don't start Baron unless you're going to turn. No need to force it 50-50. No need to take free damage. But it's something you want to play around. You want to use Baron for pressure. Baron buff itself is great, but 9 times out of 10, what you're using Baron for is pressure. Oh, the Ashe Arrow and fed Kassadin. Hey guys, pretty dead. Killing spree Zyra. She doesn't have her ult. Oh, she does have her ultimate back up from the previous engage, so that's nice. Dying for half damage to bottom turret. That's a good question. It might have been worth it. Really, it's one of those things where it becomes worth it if he makes it worth it. So if he's saying, hey, I'm going to go back to split pushing bottom while my team plays around topside jungle and Baron, then yeah, it can be worth it. But I don't think he's going to be able to through this Olaf, so I think it'll likely turn out to not have been worth it, but potentially, depending on how the game played out, it could be worth it to die for that damage. Unfortunately, this guy is pretty behind, so he's gonna have a hard time holding in the Olaf. What is this guy doing? He's jumping in near tower range, maybe in tower. I think he's gonna get hit by the tower, into a Banshee's Veil to Leah, Caitlyn with traps, Blitzcrank with pull, and his team is strong, but they're way back here. I think this passive is gonna. Let's see this. He's looking pretty dead. What was that hook? Goodness gracious. All right. Meanwhile, remember how I mentioned bottom side and how this Jace was behind? Maybe it won't matter. Blade of the Rune King Jace. Let's see it in action. Maybe this guy really knows what he's doing. He's just kiting Olaf during the ultimate and then trading afterwards, and he wins it. Jace had a really rough time early game, but making it work for him now. So again, if he can take the Olaf on, then that bottom lane turret damage is actually going to turn out to be really, really useful for them. So good work from the Jace. Zyra, again, what does she want to do right now? Oh, I didn't know they still had that. I thought it had timed out. This should be an inhibitor turret. Because the Rift Herald is going to give them a ton of pressure mid, so either they have to come mid to deal with the Rift Herald or go bot to deal with the Jace, which is where that turret damage was really coming into play. This is looking really, really good for blue team as long as they don't overextend and die. They have to play this slow. The enemy team shouldn't have the DPS to take down the Rift Herald unless they get behind it. So as long as blue team plays slow, plays smart, they should be able to get an inhibitor turret off of here. Oh, they're playing it really far back. Look at Jace go, though. This guy fed early game. He's got pressure. Going 1-for-1 when you had a bad early game is fine. So unfortunately, though, they didn't get either of these turrets. Got a little damage on both of them. Maybe it would have been better just to use the Rift Herald on bottom, but I think it was timing out, so they had to use it mid. Well, got a turret for it. 1-for-1 trade's not fantastic. Infernal Dragon spawning soon, so previously they wanted to play around top side because of these two turrets and Baron. Also, Jace had the split push advantage, but now they're gonna play around bot side, get Baron, get Dragon Vision set up. They have double teleport, so it's okay. Some of them back. I don't know why the Ashe is backing. 1,500 gold is a fair amount. Probably not enough for that. They left without. Was Zyra out of wards before she backed? She was. Okay. So Zyra had to back to get more wards. And if Zyra's gonna back, then they don't have any vision. Nobody else should really stick around anyway. Kassadin splitting top is fine because she has a teleport advantage over her opponent, Talia. Looks like they're not going to Dragon right now. Maybe they're worried that red team will rush Baron, but it's 22 minutes. Oh, wait. Am I crazy? Is this this is Infernal Dragon, right? This is Wind Dragon? Do I not know my icons? All right. Leandry's finished. Looks like she's working towards. I have no idea what that amp tome is going to be. Rylai's, Void Staff, potentially some other item. Could be a Banshee's Veil. Not bad against Blitzcrank. Jace is 1v1ing him again. Getting that Olaf ultimate before a team fight can be really nice. It is a Wind Dragon, so it doesn't look like one. And they have no vision, so they don't even know that they're on it. taking the opportunity to get vision topside, and that's a really important thing. If your enemy's taking something, whether they're ganking somebody, whether they're pushing a turret, whether they're doing X, Y, or Z, if your enemy is on one side of the map, take something on the other side of the map. Don't give anything away for free. And you may say, but Melyn, clearing out a pink ward up here is not worth a wind dragon. That's true, but if the wind dragon's already gone, get what you can. These two guys waiting in ambush of each other. Holy moly, what happened to Zach? I need to watch that again. That Zach got destroyed. So they want to force a fight right here. Kassadin's flanking, and they do have Jace teleport, so he's going for the Blitzcrank. Not that squishy right here. He flashes the Zach ult, but he doesn't flash the arrow. Gotta slow this down. The burst from all three of them onto the Zach tears him apart. He should have his passive though, and he does. Jace is teleporting in. They're trying to focus down the Blitzcrank, but even if they kill the Blitzcrank, it's not that great. This is a bad fight. She full combos through the Banshee's Veil, unfortunately, and goes for zoning all three of these people out and getting some damage here, which I think is a really good use of her time. So one of the reasons, you use your ult for two things primarily on Zyra, right? You use your ultimate to burst someone down, or you use your ultimate to zone people away. Zach is in his passive. Their damage is going on the Blitzcrank. Zoning these three people out of the fight is actually really, really big. So that was really, really well played by the Zyra. Olaf's coming in down here, so Zyra's just gonna run up, go to her team. Jace is finally getting here. It's a 1-for-1 because they could not protect Zach's passive. Oh, but Ashe is dead. Leeson picked her up, and Zyra gets popped. Oh, feels bad. What was the Kassadin pathing there? Let's look at that again. I want to see it. So Kassadin comes up here, and killing the Blitzcrank is fine while the Zyra is zoning everyone else, but he somehow runs over here because he wants to finish off the Lee Sin, but the Lee Sin cues the Ashe and runs away, so Kassadin's effectively wasting his time right here. Oh, it's so unfortunate. Kassadin, remember, is really, really fed. Jace is in here. Kassadin is strong. Lee Sin gets another fantastic Q. Lee Sin won that fight right there. Goodness gracious. Zyra played that fight well. Kassadin got a little unlucky with those Lee Sin Qs. Ashe and Zach were a little boosted. This should just be a Baron for these guys. Olaf can tank it. Lee Sin doesn't have the health to be there, but he can stick around for the smite. And the only thing they have to worry about is teleport in 20 seconds, which is not going to happen. So free Baron for red team. So it looks like it is going for the Zhonya's Hourglass or Banshee's Veil on the Zyra. They're both fine purchases. Void Staff is good if you want to deal, maximum damage, but I don't think, especially with Moby Boots, that maximum damage is what she really wants to go for here. I would prefer to see the Banshees over the Zhonya's, I think. Zhonya's, actually, they're both solid purchases. Let's see what it turns into. Mid lane is really, really fed, but unfortunately, he's been so active on the map that he only has 15 kills. I mean, he only has 140 CS. 15 kills is not an only kind of statement. So enemy team just got Baron. What are you going to do? You have two options. You can try to... Well, you really only have one option. That first option is not such a good one. So you have one real option. What are you going to do? Really, it depends on what the enemy team is going to do. It's really, really hard to force things because the enemy team's 90% of the time is going to group together unless they have a really good split push composition. So expect the enemy team to shove in their waves and siege your turrets. So you have to identify where are they going, and once you know where they're going, you want to get vision around that spot. So their blue team's all top, red team's not top. They don't have vision of it, so they don't really know where the enemy team's going to be yet. But as soon as they figure out that they're going mid and bottom, that's when they want to get deep vision, or vision in their jungle, and just try to hold as best as possible. Set up a teleport flank if they can. Kassadin is trying to be a hero. Well, now they know. Okay, so here's where you can where you actually do have two options. If you have wave shoving, you can try to trade on the map with the Baron buff. You don't want to trade too long though, because Baron buff is does a lot more for pushing than just a solo Jace. So it looks like they're just gonna, Jace is probably gonna stay. The rest of the team should get vision in their bot side jungle and like maybe try to hold this, but not die for it. Just kind of stall them as long as possible. And it's okay to let your inner turrets die against the Baron buff. Oh, he's actually baiting this. Olaf has no ultimate. He's dead. I think the Zyra ult was a bad idea. I think she should have saved it for inhibitor turret defense. Olaf wasn't getting out of that even with flash. So this turret's dead 100%. They can't defend this. They can maybe try to hold the inhibitor and Jace can try to trade. Jace is not even trying to trade. He's backing right here. He's not going to get back in time to save the inhibitor. The only reason he would back right here is to try to save the Nexus turrets. I don't know if they could go for the Nexus turrets, so I think it's a very interesting call. Really good engaged by the Zac, but meanwhile this Ashe is once again being destroyed by this Lee Sin. He's always finding her number. So Zac did so well, but there's no follow-up. All Ashe's time is spent on the Lee Sin. But I guess he bought enough time. They should be a full wipe for in favor of blue team. Nicely done. You don't go Zhonya's or the decision for Zhonya's or Banshees doesn't depend on AD versus AP, unless they're full AD or full AP maybe. But even if they're AD heavy and still have AP damage, it doesn't really come down to it. What it really comes down to is the passives or the actives. So Zhonya's active is really good against Blitzcrank. If he pulls you in, you can survive. It's really good against Olaf, because if he's diving on you, you can survive. But Banshees is good against Taliyah, Lee Sin, and Blitzcrank. So I would like to see the Banshees come out here. So they turned that into an inhibitor of their own, and they held this inhibitor. A lot more than I expected out of them. So what's the game plan now? All of the Barons, I believe, are dead on the enemy team. They have no... Oh, Dragon is actually coming up in 2 minutes. It says it's an Infernal Dragon, but I've been spurned before. It looks like it's going to be a Wind Dragon. So I think, again, it's a hard choice. Do they play around this Wind Dragon or do they play around top side? They already have some vision top side and the turret's very low. The gold is nice, but again, Wind Dragon is nice against Blitzcrank. Furthermore, red team has 2 Wind Dragons already. So, wait, you already lost this 1v1 last time. Are you going to go for it again? He decides not. Doesn't have enough vision to chase it. Actually, he has pretty good vision to chase it. Must have just not done it because he died last time. So, 2 major options for blue team. Top turret or Dragon. And it does look like he's building into a Banshee's Veil with the blasting wand, which is what I like to see. Lee Sin's going for the back door on the inhibitor. All right, let's see this. He should get it. He might die for it, but he should get it. That's cute. All right, Zac wants to punish him. Ashe is there too. Yeah, you're dead. He actually has a lot of damage, but it didn't seem like it did very much. So now this should just be an opportunity for blue side to get vision and then set up for Dragon. Kassadin's greeting for this blue buff though. He is all alone, but he wants it, so he ults into it. Zhonya's to buy some time is a bad Zyra ult. It didn't zone anyone, and it didn't do damage either. They have the numbers advantage. All right, so Kassadin low health. Kassadin is teleport. Enemy team is dead. They want to keep this fight going, but they don't want to force it too quickly. Ashe needs to stay close enough to keep them interested and far enough away that he's going to survive. Jace is going to go around from the side and do the same thing until Cassidy can hopefully teleport, but unfortunately they don't have a good teleport ward. They're gonna need to drop one for him. They want to make this work. Alternatively, they can just go for dragon or top turret. Cassidy looks like he doesn't want to back and make a TP play. He just wants to shove out the wave. Probably get a nice buy here. 1,000 gold, not that much. Oh, 1,500 gold. Wrong champion. One of the nice things about going for Wind Dragon instead of going for top turret is their bot lane inhibitors down. Going for Wind Dragon allows them to counter the push of the super minions. So I'd really like to see them go and take it. But Cassidy can teleport, so looks like he'll take care of the minion wave. Lee Sin's gonna grab this dragon. They're gonna be really fast. Triple Cloud Drake on Blitzcrank's really strong. Really would have liked them to not have let red side do this. Either way, they're finally grouping top. You know, they had two options, dragon or top. They're finally coming top. Turret's really low. Should die without much problem. And Cassidy can split push bottom with the teleport. I don't think they're going to be able to get anything from the siege. I think what they want to do is get vision around Baron. See how much red side vision they have? They need to sweep this out. Get vision around Baron. They can pressure mid, pressure top, and then retreat back to it. Oh, no. What was he doing there? They don't know where Blitzcrank is. No, he does know where Blitzcrank is. He knows Blitzcrank's right there, clearing the ward. What does he do? He walks. Right there. Wait, Blitzcrank has no vision. The blind hook god. Goodness gracious. So Ashe knew he was there. Blitzcrank didn't know she was exactly there, and she dies. Oh, and then Zyra tries to help him. She's gonna use her flash, yeah, ultimate or flash. Use the ultimate. Again, a lot of times it can be really tempting to try to full combo as Zyra, but sometimes you just need to get out. If you need to get out, just pop the ultimate and run away. Saves the flash, which is nice. They're gonna lose a lot of pressure here. Red team is gonna shove up mid and probably get Baron pressure. I think that's all that red side can do. There's the Banshee's Bell. I do like this item buy. They don't have much MR. Void Staff is still gonna give you a lot of damage because of the way Zyra works and the base MR of all these champions. For example, Caitlyn has no MR items. Oh, she does have a Hex Stringer. Void Staff would actually do a lot. Actually, everyone has some MR. Void Staff would do a lot for damage, but I don't think this is primarily a damage focused Zyra. Maybe though. Yeah, 90% sure it's QV. What are you doing there, Zyra? Okay. So again, what do they want to do? Jace has been really successful recently with splitting against Olaf, so I almost would have liked Jace to go bottom and just split against them. I don't know why he stopped, but instead they're just forcing a Baron fight. They have the numbers advantage for a little bit. Zyra's trying to zone the jungler. Somebody should be zoning the jungler. All right, they're using the Baron. Oh, that was a fantastic arrow. And what do I always say? Using the Baron to bait is quite good. You don't always want to use it for the Baron itself. Using the Baron to get a fight. It's a 4v5. Olaf's going to be up soon with teleport, so they need to be careful. They need to get something now, or they need to back away. Cassidy's in the back, teleporting in from the back, I believe. Going for the flank. A fantastic arrow. This Caitlyn should be dead. They're collapsing on the Caitlyn to protect her. She gets away from over the wall. Zyra is dead. Zyra did nothing. What is this tragedy? Let's watch that again. I need to be focusing on what Zyra is doing. If the game will unfreeze. Fingers crossed. Uh-oh. I broke it. All right. NA spectator. Let's give it a minute to catch up. So what happened in that fight? Oh, no, Cassidy didn't even teleport. He must have gotten around some other way. His teleport has a fair... Wasn't used that recently. Zyra had to use her flash. She didn't even get her ultimate off. I think she just went too aggressively into the fight. Huh. Yeah, I think my client is actually frozen though. Here. I want to finish this game. I want to see how this game ends. So let me restart the client real quick. And yeah, Cassidy is one of those champions that you have to play intelligently with your lead. This Ashe is not doing any favors though. Oh, thanks, Winja. I forgot to check. This Ashe is actually getting caught so much. Fingers crossed for them. Wish them luck. Let's get back into things. All right. Watch it from the beginning again? Maybe not. All right, so it has to load real quick. It has to load up. Right now we can only skip to 4 minutes in. So in the meantime, we'll talk a bit more about this game while it catches up. But it doesn't actually go as slowly as it looks like it's gonna go.
I came here to kick butt and drink graggy. Looks like I'm all...
So they gotta catch onto the Caitlyn over here. But Caitlyn managed to run away from the Cassidy and over the wall. Meanwhile, Zyra got picked off. Okay, it's going faster now. A little faster, maybe. Well, I really wasn't able to keep track of everything that was going on. Play-by-play is not my forte. All right, we got 10 minutes up. I thought it looked like such a great catch, but I guess Zach doesn't have much damage. Caitlyn survived. With a Zyra getting bursted at the beginning of that fight, it's looking like it's going to be a rough one. Their overall team fighting, I'm not sure who is stronger. Jace is not particularly fantastic at team fighting. Cassidy's not. Zach is. Ashe is. Zyra is. But also Caitlyn and Talia are strong in team fights as well. Not sure. Really only 18 minutes in. This game ending is going to be worth it. It's going to be worth the wait. You have my word on that. If this game ending, if this team fight and whatever happens, I don't know how long this game even is, it's going to be worth the wait. Money back guaranteed. While we're waiting, I can also point out the hole in my shoulder, because I wanted to wear a tie-dye shirt today. But if you've seen many tie-dye shirts, they tend to have green. Can create some unlucky combinations with the green screen. Going back to the Lee Sin backdoor was pretty humorous. All right, 31:59 is where we're at. Here we are. So let's speed it up a bit. Go back to that catch that they got. That stuff is already... Wait. Yeah, that stuff has already happened. And then it's around here. You get a catch onto Caitlyn soon. Alright, here's about where we were. The Ashe arrow... Where does the Ashe arrow even fly from? Zach is gonna leap onto the Caitlyn. Talia ults. Oh, so it is a Cassidy teleport from behind. I want to see this Ashe arrow. Or is it not an Ash arrow? Am I crazy? All right, there it is. Ash arrow right here before the Zac is even anywhere nearby. Pretty nice. He doesn't know what to do. He saw it. And what happens to the Zyra here? Because it looks like a great. We got the Kassadin flank, the Ash arrowed Caitlyn, but she flashes and goes over. Zac's on her. Zyra just has something awful happen to her. Really well played. Oh, really well played by the Caitlyn. Zyra got baited so hard. Zyra used her flash, she used her spells, and now she's... It doesn't look like she's in too much trouble, but then Lee Sin comes over with the damage redemption. There's nothing they can do. Meanwhile, the Talia's dealing with the Ash. She'll die. Olaf, who was recently dead, is teleporting back in. Ash is definitely dead right now. Zac's going back in. Kassadin's gonna come and try to finish off the Blitzcrank. Should be able to take it down, but now Zac's in peril. He's gonna die unless he flashes over. Oh, I guess he doesn't even die. I am surprised this worked out. I am very surprised this worked out. It was a good catch, but it looks like they overchased. Zyra was useless that fight. Zyra's main mistake right there was flashing without knowing that Caitlyn had cooldowns up. Pretty ineffective. Probably should have stayed back and helped the Ash. Ash is having a really rough game, but she still should do a lot of damage. Looks like he's building for that Void Staff next. All right, so they got the Baron. I think at this point, push in all the waves. You can 1-3-1 with the exposed inhibitor, or you can just team fight. Either is fine, I think, at this point. But that's all they're gonna do right now. Zyra has 3 control wards. That's what I usually do. No reason really not to have 3. The extra 75 gold's not gonna do much, and having a ward when you need it is really, really nice. Very important to have that reliable ward. All right, so shoving all the waves. Kassadin didn't end up shoving bottom, but it's slow pushing for blue side, so that's fine. And Jace is pushing bottom. So especially up against a pick comp, well, I say pick comp, especially up against something with like a Blitzcrank who can hard engage. They have a very big minion wave bottom. This is really nice. This minion wave is going to build up and probably let them take bot turret as well. They need to play really slowly mid. If Blitzcrank can force a fight, Jace could teleport in, sure, but it's not going to be good. Or it's not going to be as good as it could be. They want to play it really slowly here. Kind of posture, soak up these traps if they can, but I don't think they can. Just wait for Jace. He started coming. Looks like he's setting up a slow push because he's killing these minions, but not that one. Yeah, so they're gonna have a really big minion wave up here. And this is gonna push, but it's gonna take a little bit to get pushing. And here they are mid. Another really nice thing about setting up this slow push in the bottom, I don't know if the slow push was necessary or whether Jace should have just gone with it, because if you have Baron buff, that makes the minions move more quickly. So I think regardless of whether Jace slow pushed it or hard shoved it, the nicest thing about setting up this push right here is you're against the Caitlyn, right? Very hard for them to go through these traps. Zac can eat a trap, but over here, no traps. So if the traps become a problem, it can be a great way to get around it and a great thing to do against Caitlyn. So he is just going to eat the traps. But he is taking damage for it. See? Half of his, 2/3 of his health just from taking those traps. So potentially a misplay. Ash is arrowing out of the Blitzcrank. Zyra's ulting for burst. You're not getting anything out of this ult other than burst, and you're bursting a Blitzcrank, so I don't think it's a good ultimate from Zyra. But Blitzcrank died. Zac passive popped. Zyra's just following, chasing. Kassadin's doing Kassadin things, and that's the end of the game. Honestly, this game had very little to do with Zyra. The last 2 team fights was pretty ineffective. Had a pretty good early game though. despite top lane feeding. And that's that game. Ah. But he didn't really zone him there, Teemo, because they weren't going to dive through. Your team, the blue team was diving into red team, so red team's not going to dive back. They're just going to kite back. They're kiting back. That ult doesn't really do anything. I think the thing to do there is just to save it. But this guy is master in Korea. I am not. Maybe he is the ultimate genius. That's my opinion, though. So